everyone. Welcome everyone to the Mary Jane Mack Show on Transformation Talk Radio. I'm your co-host Nancy, and I'm here with Mary Jane, and we have Benny in the studio. Hey, Benny.
Hi, ladies.
Benny, we miss you, Benny.
Oh, we miss you too. Big
We'll be
hugs.
back. We'll be back one day soon.
Anytime.
Okay, for those of you who don't know about Mary Jane, she's a holistic intuitive. She has an office in Issaquah, Washington. However, you do not have to live in the state of Washington to become a client. She has clients all over the United States, and we even have clients in Europe. She does a technique called the TAPS, the Accelerated Performance System, which is a way of muscle testing your body to find out what your nutritional deficiencies are, and then recommends a whole food nutrition, which gets into the body, repairs it, supports it, and brings your body back into balance. And today we are talking about technology and why it is important for your vibrant health. And we've talked about this subject numerous times, but it's an important one, and I think one that needs to be reviewed again. So with that, Mary Jane.
Thank you, Nancy. And, we keep talking about issues in the body and what's going on and how the body functions and the common things that we see, the gallbladder, there's an awful lot of anxiety right now, and you can understand it with what's going on in the world. The stress and anxiety is beyond over the top, affecting everyone, and then it affects the children, the young people in the house. It's like it's almost like there's no way out. They don't know where to go. Their body is so confused and so like shut down. So we want to talk about ways that can be changed, and it can be. I'm fortunate. I'm a member of the Master Circle, which is a chiropractic organization for practice management. I'm also part of the Winner Circle, which is a smaller group out of the Master Circle. And as part of that group, belonging to the Master Circle and attending seminars, and I have a coach every week, I am up to date with the very latest technology that I can bring to you that will make a difference to help you change your life. When I see what these guys are doing today, I mean, they're the chiropractic neurologists, they're just brilliant at what they do. They're making a huge difference in changing lives and improving the worst brain function or brain injury or trauma or any stress on the brain. They're making like huge strides moving forward, helping these people. And at the seminars, they'll show videos of before and a time lapse of the improvement. It's absolutely phenomenal. And it's by using all this different technology. If you're just doing the same thing and you keep getting the same results, nothing's going to change. You have to step out of that box. And it's just that's the way you have to go. Like you wouldn't go back to not having a cell phone. It's about technology. You're lost without it. Well, what the technology does is just improves your brain and improves your nervous system. So we'll talk more about that. But belonging to Master Circle, I am exposed, or I know the top guys in the country and what they do and what the results they get. And it's just phenomenal. So I want to share that with you today.
Well, I was reading, we've talked, today we're going to talk about the Resmex and the Brain Tap, which we've talked about before, but I think it's interesting. The brain is the most precious organ in your body. And even when other vital organs keep working, without brainwave activity, your body is an empty vessel. So that means it's disconnected from the brain. So it's about getting your body connected back up with your brain so everything is working again. And then when everything's connected to the brain, your body then has the ability to heal itself. But with that disconnection, you're just at a loss. I mean, we can do nutrition, which will help, but trying to get your body connected back up with that brain so that your vessel is now functioning. And that way you feel great, you're changing old patterns, and you're able to move forward and get rid of the stress and tension that we hold in our body. So I'm a firm believer. I mean, I'm lucky enough that Mary Jane is my mom. I'm lucky enough that I've been able to access this great technology. And let me say at first, when she mentions this stuff, I'm like, sometimes I just roll my eyes and go, okay, it's another new thing. But when you actually see the results and you can feel the results with these tools, the Brain Tap and the Resumex, it truly is life changing. And I'm not saying that because she's my mom. I'm saying it because I've seen it for myself and I've seen it for my dog. I use the Resumex on my dog, and when I brain tap, sometimes I have the dog next to me. So we're connected that way. So it's about getting, I know we've talked about the brain a ton, but the brain is very important. And it's about, like I said, getting all your nerves and everything connected back up with that brain so that we can then be stress-free and more healthy.
Yeah, and we have talked a lot about the brain, but you know what? It is all about the brain. And that's what we should be talking about. It's like the brain. Today, if you're not talking about the brain and how to improve the brain, you're not going to get vibrant health. You're going to feel better and things are going to be okay, but you're going to keep going around in circles because you're in that pattern. Your brain is trained and it just keeps doing the same thing. And it's not, because that's what your pattern is. So the tools like the Brain Tap and the Resumex is technology to actually change that brain pattern, rebuild the brain cells, and change how your brain is functioning. It's all about the vagus nerve and the parasympathetic. The vagus nerve drives the parasympathetic nervous system. So you know about the sympathetic is when you're fight and flight, like you're scared to death, now you're running and you're running all the time. Well, some people are stuck in that all the time. You cannot heal in that when you're in sympathetic. When the parasympathetic is the healing, it has to be balanced. When the parasympathetic takes over, then your body can heal. And then the other part of the nervous system is the hormonal. So that's like your adrenal, your pituitary. So if that is taking over, that affects your metabolism. It affects your whole energy. You're not very happy. So everything has to be in balance. And we now are doing what's called a heart rate variability test. So that heart rate variability was developed by Brain Tap. So we got this technology, it's software, and you actually can scan a person, takes less than 5 minutes, and it shows exactly where their brain is, how it's functioning, where your metabolism is,
how your organs are, your spine,
your vibration.
Vibrate. So it's been a lot of fun to be able to scan myself, see where I'm at. And then what I've done is I've done my Resumex, I've done another brain tap, and then I did another scan to see the difference of where I was versus what these two pieces of technology can actually do to change your body in an extremely short amount of time. And we have clients who think they're great, you know, they feel good, they think they're on the right track, but at the same time, they've come in and got their HRV done and they were surprised. Oh, I didn't realize I thought I was much better than that. So it's very interesting, and technology is our friend with all of this.
Right. It shows, you know, people think they're not under stress because they're so used to being under stress. Unless they're like really traumatized, they think it's all okay. So this is a clear indicator of exactly where you're at and what you need to do to change it. One session of Brain Tap or one session with Resumex will change the reading. However, that's not permanent. You have to do the Resumex and the Brain Tap for 4 to 6 weeks to get permanent changes. And that doesn't really require a lot of time every day to do that. And we'll talk more specifically about each one, how you do it, and the effects you have from it.
All right, time for us to take a short break. You're listening to the Mary Jane Mack Show on Transformation Talk Radio. We'll catch you on the other side. Welcome back to the Mary Jane Mack Show on Transformation Talk Radio. I'm your co-host Nancy. I'm here with Mary Jane, and we have Benny in the studio. Hello, Benny.
Hey, what's going down?
Hey. Misty times. We'll be back one day soon, I hope. Today we are talking about technology and why it is important for vibrant health. And so we talked a little bit about the brain tap, but we talked a little bit about the Resmix, and Mary Jane's gonna talk about more about.
Talk about the Resmix to start with. We only touched a little bit on it, but I'm going to touch a little more on the Resmix and what it does. And it was, the developer is Sherrick Peck. He's out of Utah. He is, he's a physical therapist and has a master in psychology. He has been working on this for many years, developing this. He had a broken neck when he was young, and again when he was 18, wrestling. Then he had a stroke, and he knew that then he got his physical therapy license, but he knew there was something else to help people. And he started looking into vibration. And when he started out to develop this, he started with toothbrushes, electric toothbrushes. And I think he said he went through like 2,000 of them because it was the vibration from the toothbrush. He's looking for different vibrations and algorithms that connect the body to the brain. So it's very specific what the Resmix does. It's certain algorithms and patterns that connect that part of the body to the brain. So it's pretty, and it's like the purring of a cat, he says. The purring of a cat is very healing. And that's what's similar about the Resmix. So the Resmix is, again, it's all about your nervous system. And the Resmix is a tool to connect or change those pathways to your brain to reconnect them so your body can function at a higher level. So say you've got a knee injury and you hurt your knee a long time ago and it's a chronic condition, keeps coming back, you still have it, you get along, you've had everything done, but it's still there. So now your body knows that that injury is there and it stays the same. You can get it treated, it could be better for a short time, but it's not a permanent change. Well, there's 3 ways you get to the brain. It's sound, light, and vibration. So with the Resmix, what you're working, say you had a bad knee, when I've seen Sherrick at the shows, and this is what we do, he'll really work on that knee, scrub that knee with the side. The Resmix looks like this. And what he always recommends to everybody is start with the feet, and you scrub the feet, and then you scrape up with the side, every part of the body, you cover all the skin. Now you don't have to bruise the skin, and you could do it on top of your clothes. So you're going to do your whole entire body, your fingers, between your fingers, your hands, your arms,
Your head.
There's certain other ones for your head, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But what you can do with this is for a knee injury, you really do that knee. And then there's actually a band, you put this on high, you put it on your leg and you wrap the Velcro wrap around it, and you just walk around with it. So what you're doing is interrupting that pain reflex. It actually gets rid of pain no matter where it is in your body. So the idea is to interrupt the pattern and change the pattern so it reconnects with the brain, and now your parasympathetic can take over. And so if you have any kind of injury, you scrape the whole body, and then you could work specifically on that injury. What I love about Resmix and Sherrick Peck is on YouTube, he has great videos for just about anything. And they're short. So you could look up anything on YouTube and find out exactly in a short time what you do, how to do it if you're in doubt. You can't overdo. You could do, even since Sherrick developed this, working with the other chiropractors and the neurologists, Sherrick learned even more about what it does because it's so phenomenal in helping like the worst trauma patients, because it adds that added on top of all the technology these doctors were using. You add this vibration and it escalated their healing. They start getting better faster. So it's pretty amazing.
But you don't have to have an injury in order to benefit from the Resumex.
No. You have, but I'm saying, so many people, they've got most people
Something,
have
ankle,
something.
broken ankle. There's a lot of people who have neuropathy and
Well, you could have had neuropathy, absolutely. Any
people
kind
who
of
have had strokes, who are paralyzed on part of their body. You start using that Resumex, scraping.
COVID, people with speech difficulty, babies who are having some babies who are not just growing, but mentally not doing as well, like not crawling, not eating, not chewing, don't have a reflex. Babies that usually when babies are born, they're born with several different primitive reflexes. By the time they're 3, they're gone, like grabbing on, the startle reflex, nursing, like sucking. So if sometimes the babies don't have those, and those are babies who have trouble nursing, who have trouble eating. Well, with the Resumex, what you do is you put a little bit of frankincense on the tongue, essential oil, then you take the Resumex and turn it on low for the babies, and you put it on the tongue. And what that does is stimulates the brain. And then what you also do is do the carotid arteries. So when you put this on, it's on the vibration, you could just scrape the carotids. You do that a lot. And that's especially good for COVID because they have an oxygen issue. So when you do that, you're improving oxygen flow to the brain. So all this, what this is doing is just helping people get better so much faster and out of crisis, and then escalating them to even better health where they can stay there and be the best they can be. But for babies, for kids who are colicky, kids who are anxiety, stressful, emotional, who are not happy, perfect for them, because you want to calm down their nervous system. I mean, you could talk to them all you want, but their nervous system is on such edge, they can't calm down. So you just do a treatment on them and they'll love it. And then they start to calm down, and you just do that every day, maybe a couple times a day, depending on how they are. And you do it before it escalates. So now you've got your child happy. Now you're working on that brain, calming that brain down. Because think about it, kids that are hyper, they're just can't sit still, they're demanding, that they need all your attention. Their little brains are in such overdrive that they just can't turn off. And that's what the Resumex helps do, calm down that nervous system, turn off that sympathetic where they're in overdrive. So you can help people before it gets into a major situation, especially kids.
And I've mentioned this before. I Resumex my dog Paddington. He's a golden retriever, and he never liked his feet touched. He's always super sensitive to his feet. But now I can do the Resumex on his feet. He gets Resumex every day, because if he doesn't, he as soon as he sees the Resumex, he goes crazy. So
and our Resumex are out all the time. Handy.
Yeah. So for him, he doesn't like loud sounds, and fireworks and gunshots really, set him off. So when that happens, the first thing I do is grab the Resumex and work on his nervous system, because he actually he looks for he'll crawl in between the smallest space to try and hide to get away. But with the Resumex, it actually will help calm him down, so it's not such a big deal anymore. So again, works on kids, toddlers, animals, and he loves it, absolutely loves it. He's turned into a little Resumex monster. So it's a fabulous piece of machinery. I usually scrape my body every day. And then at night when I go home, get ready for bed, I'll go ahead and sit on it on my tailbone. So it's getting my spine activated, and then I'll go ahead and do my back. I'll just lean on it and then just keep constantly moving it down my spine to get that flow going with my nervous system. But then with that, I also do the brain tap and Resonex at the same time. And we'll talk more about that on the other side. Time for us to take a short break. You're listening to the Mary Jane Mack Show on Transformation Talk Radio. We'll catch you on the other side. Welcome back to the Mary Jane Mack Show on Transformation Talk Radio. I'm your co-host Nancy. I'm here with Mary Jane, who is also my mom and my boss. And then we have Benny in the studio. And today we're talking about technology and how it is important for vibrant health. So we've been talking about the Resonex, and we're going to be talking about the brain tap as well. But Mary Jane wanted to mention.
I got a story about the Resonex. A friend of mine had foot drop, and foot drop is where his one leg, actually his foot, if he were sitting up on a table and he had his legs down, well, his one leg, he could curl up his toes, the other one he couldn't. And he had been to the doctor, and the doctor said, there's nothing we could do for that. If it's been like that for 3 years, your nerves are dead. And so that's it. So I was there when he came home from the doctor. I did one treatment with the Resonex. He sat on the kitchen counter is what he did. And he rolled his feet up, and he could roll his toes up on that foot. And he hadn't done that for years. And when I talked to Sherrick about it, Sherrick said foot drop, usually you could turn around in 3 months. So it's about reconnecting that part of the body, the nervous system, to the brain again. And that's what the Resonex does. So we're talking about, some basic things every day that help people. But there's so many more things that people have that they think they can't do anything about that they can. So it's like any kind of injury, if you've got a hand or anything you're not using very well, if they can take these paralyzed people that can't walk and do technology on them, like the brain tap, and they do a vibration plate, and some other things, and then add the Resonex, and they can get them to walk, that's pretty phenomenal. So it's all about technology and how you put it together that make a difference to take you to another level. Like I say, what I do with nutrition, it all works, but there's more. So that's why it's so much fun.
And the brain is your main engine. So it's about getting that brain connected again. And one way to the Resonex does it, but doing Resonex and brain tap at the same time is also phenomenal.
When you see these neurology chiropractors, when they're working on people, they've got a brain tap on them. They're on a vibration plate. They've got the Resonex. Sometimes they got 2 or 3 Resonex on them because they just strap them to their arms. And they're doing, they also do light technology, laser therapy, but they're doing all these things at one time to stimulate the brain. And these are people with severe trauma injuries too. So it just every day, if people did again, when we talk about the Resonex, but now you add the brain tap, start using the brain tap first. The brain tap is light, sound, and vibration. And it's the brain set, you actually purchase a headset, and then you get a 30-day trial for the software, and you download that on your phone or iPad. And then it has many different programs, and you could either get like for $10, $9.99 a month, you get one set of programs, or $30, you get all of them. It's a monthly thing. You could change it off, but the programs are phenomenal. What's on there is about stress, worry-free, weight loss, stop smoking, improve your business, wake up, children learning, sports. The brain tap is stress. Brain tap is used by tons of professional athletic sports, a lot of high school sports. it's like so big all over the world. And has been scientifically tested in many different universities and proven how well it works, that eventually it will be claimed as, or it will be a medical device, because it helps so many people with different medical issues. Actually rebuilds the brain cells and retrains your brain. If you have a lot of people with the stress they're under, they have to do it 3 times a day. People say, well, I don't have time. I cannot really get in one. Well, if you don't have time, you're not going to rebuild your brain cells. What I do is I put it on last thing at night, first thing in the morning, and then I do a short one during the day. And it's like, I'm just committed to it. And if I don't do it, I feel something's off. So I do that. When I do that in the morning, then I take my Resumex and I scrub my whole body. And there's different things that you could do on your head and face. And you could look at our website. There's some videos on there. But it's great for migraine headaches also, because it's working on the cranial nerves. And the cranial nerves come out, cover your eyes, and then your in your TMJ, your jaw. And those cranial nerves, if they're not connected or they're stirred up, then you get headaches, you get vision problems, you get tight muscles in your neck, you have that,
TMJ.
yeah, which adds to more stress. So there's one you do in the mouth, and there's you put this other device on, and then you use this in the mouth, and that relaxes all those muscles in the back of the throat to get rid of a headache. Because it's about all that stress in your brain and your cranial bones. When they get jammed, that's more stress. So that's why I say people who are doing things, looking for answers, and like for headaches, for some issues, they've done everything. Well, we could do nutrition, but they've got to take it a step further if they really want to get a handle on this quickly. And that's just, there's an answer. That's what's positive, right?
Yeah, to have the answer and have the technology, but again, you have to use it. And when I talk to some of our clients and I'll say, are you brain tapping? Yeah, I was able to do one, but I can't find, I keep forgetting, to do a second one. And my response is, if you can't find at least 40 minutes out of your day for yourself, there's a problem. We all have at least 10 minutes in the morning to do a quick brain tap. And you all have at least 20-25 minutes in the evening, whether that's right before bed or not, to get a second brain tap in. I usually do one in the morning. I do one when I get off work, and then I'll do sometimes one or two in the evening. But there was a bunch of new ones that were on brain tap, and I actually did it the other day. It was tones and beats. And it was clearing my nervous system of negative energy. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And while I had the brain tap on, I also had the Resumex on, I was laying on it on my back. So that just added even more. I was like loading myself up to get rid of all that negative energy and get that nervous system in my spine, green.
Yeah, and when you're doing the brain tap with the Resumex, you could put the Resumex on low so it's not overwhelming. But like I have people do the Resumex, and people who have like had strokes and they have one side of their body that's weaker, I'll have them tape the Resumex on the leg and put it on a different red and blue and green cycle while they're doing the brain tap, and that really stimulates that part of the body. So, but you could do the brain tap. When you do the brain tap by itself, it's great. There's 10-minute programs, and there's some 30, but mostly 20. And again, the brain tap is,
Here it is. It's a headset.
pardon me?
But I'm just showing them. And here there are lights in the actual ear pieces. And then when the program is lit up, there are lights that come on in the visor. So obviously when you're listening to the brain tap, you have your eyes are closed, put on your headset, put your thing down, close your eyes, and that starts the process of
Yeah,
complete and total relaxation.
some are music, but most of them are guided meditations. And it's like hypnosis, and it's for weight loss, for everything. And Patrick Porter, who I work with at Brain Tap, or Michael Porter also, what they say is if you want to lose weight, when you have to do the Brain Tap 3 times a day, it's a must. The other thing they recommend is a vibration plate, because the vibration plate, again, it's all about vibration. And the vibration plate, when you do 10 minutes on a vibration plate, it's like 30 minutes of exercise. And when you do the vibration plate, it's like lifting your cells. It affects your whole body. So it's like the quickest way to get to the brain. And that's what you want to do. It's all about how can we do this? How can we do it pretty quickly and then have great results?
And I just want to mention, we are going to offer the Brain Tap at $100 off. We have a limited number of Brain Taps in the office. And for those of you who are interested, you can go ahead and give the office a call at 888-777-4232. We're going to offer everyone a Brain Tap. The normal cost is $647. We're going to offer it to you for $547 to get you started on your road to stress-free me, rejuvenating your body and getting that brain changed. It's also really good for PTSD as well, and ADHS. I mean, so many things the Brain Tap is good for, and the programs on it are phenomenal.
Well, they did a research with the soldiers and the bomb squad and the dogs. And what they did was they had the soldiers do the Brain Tap, and they had the dogs by their side on a leash. And the dogs changed dramatically after a 6-week, they were on a 6-week research program. So did the soldiers. So it was, they do so much research all the time on everything, and with great results. So it's a no-brainer.
So
and that special is just for a limited offer, and it's first come, first serve. Yeah,
exactly. So if you'd like to take advantage, don't hesitate to give the office a call. I can't speak enough about the Brain Tap. I love my Brain Tap. I love my Resomix. Those are my 2 pieces of go-to. I do it every day. I do notice the difference. I feel better. I can feel my body is not tight and stressed all the time. And it gives you good ideas when you're not brain tapping. It's negative thoughts coming into your head. On one of the meditations, it's always like visualize a stop sign. So when those negative thoughts pop in, that self-talk, visualize that stop sign. You take that negative talk, you put it behind you 200 to 500 feet, and then you replace those negative thoughts with 3 positives about yourself. Because I know everybody has negative self-talk about themselves. I don't know one person who doesn't have that voice in the back of their head going, you're just not good enough, you're not going to do it, you screwed this up, you did this. You've got to stop it before it even starts, because we get what we think about.
And all those things create illness. And that's the idea of Brain Tap, because it's the same thing. People with the same gallbladder, the same liver issue, stomach issues, it's all stress on the body. And you keep going round and round and aren't able to change it because your brain has been trained very well to go back to that pattern. So it's the same with injuries in your body, shoulder injuries, same thing. That's where you store your emotions. And the Brain Tap is helping you with those emotions, to release those emotions. It's all about vibrant health and being the best you could be.
And again, who doesn't have 40 minutes to do something for themselves? I know you go to the gym, go for walks. You can find the time to do a Brain Tap in the morning. It's a no-brainer. And for at nighttime, for people who are having trouble sleeping, believe me, you put the Brain Tap on at night, you'll be out like a light. I wake up hours later, still the headset's on, take it off and roll right back to sleep. So I love this.
Sometimes if you've had a sleeping problem for years, it takes more than one session to change that pattern. But again, it's the quality, it's the consistency to change that pattern. And then you'll get back into sleeping and having, because your body heals at night when you're sleeping. If you're not sleeping deep and well, your body can't regenerate.
And that's when your brain is changing too. That's when all the negative thoughts are processed. That's when positive thoughts are processed. Everything's happening when you're sleeping. So all the conscious part of our brain that we don't tap into, the brain tap allows you to tap into that. And so that's when all the healing takes place as well. All right, time for us to take a short break. You're listening to the Mary J. Mack Show on Transformation Talk Radio. We'll catch you on the other side. Welcome back to the Mary J. Mack Show on Transformation Talk Radio. I'm your host, Nancy. I'm here with my mom, Mary Jane. It's also my boss. And today we're talking about technology and how it is so important for vibrant health. We're talking about the Resumex and we're talking about the brain tap. Mary Jane, what would you like to talk about?
Well, like we were saying during the break, you have to step out of the box and you just can't wait. You got to decide, what do you want? You want to stay the same or do you want to make a difference? And these are just a couple tools that can help you make a difference. And it's worth you looking into to changing your family's life. Because when you're talking about, well, what's it good for? What conditions? It's good for every condition. I mean, I could go through a whole list. It doesn't matter what you have. It's going to help you because it changes your nervous system. Same with the brain tap, especially those people that have anxiety and heart palpitations and racing heart. And they just can't. I see that so much in young people, in teenagers and early 20s. They're so stressed out, it's unbelievable. And those are things that they need to calm their nervous system down, to switch them, to keep them that way. Because today, it doesn't matter which way you turn and look, there's stress. And
it's everywhere. It's everywhere. We thought we would be getting better after COVID, but we had COVID, which was a huge change in everybody's life. And now we're, with the way the economy is, gas prices, it doesn't matter. There's more stress. It just keeps coming and coming and coming. And how are you going to deal with that? And I mean, I know when I'm stressed, I can feel it. I feel it in my body. And I do my techniques from brain tap. If I don't have my brain tap available, if I'm in a car, don't have my Resumex there, I've got some tools that I've learned from the brain tap meditations that help bring me down and get me centered again. And I can feel that stress leaving my body.
And that's exactly it, Nancy. It's not something that's like magic that takes it. It does take it away right away, but it doesn't mean that you're not going to get into a situation and be stirred up. It's those things are still there, but you pop out of it faster and you have tools that you know what to do to change it. And you're much more aware when you go there to those places like the stress, and it's not a comfortable place anymore. So you want to get back to being more imbalanced. And that's what it's about. It's about having being able to stay out of that path with this craziness and get on your own path and go to this enchanted forest or enchanted river or lake and enjoy this peace and attract what you want in your life and make a difference.
Yeah,
Whether that's in your job, in your family, it doesn't matter.
Well, and we've talked about the NET, the neuroemotional technique, how you can clear the emotion, but it's like peeling the layers of the onion away. Same thing with the brain tap and the Resumex. If you feel a stressful situation coming on, you have the tools to kind of keep it at bay. Whether you're at home and you get bad news, you can put your brain tap on, listen to some soothing music, listen to a great meditation, sit. The Resumex also comes with like a little fanny pack. I like to go ahead and put mine around my chest and I'll go ahead and lay on it. And I can just feel the tension leaving my shoulders. I'll keep moving it up and down my spine. So you have the tools so it doesn't take you, like Mary Jane said, to the other side where you're just so out of control. It keeps it at bay. you can feel the stress leave your body, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, and there's no right or wrong. I mean, the Resumex, you use it as much as your body can tolerate. If you're really sensitive, then you do it on low until your body can tolerate more. But there isn't anybody that cannot use it. Sometimes people are so sensitive to touch because they've been in so much pain for a long time that the new Resumex has a lower setting, so it's very light vibration, so anybody can handle it. So these were made for people with the worst pain, where you can't get near them or touch them because they're in such pain. And they've been like that for years, and they get people out of that using the Resumex and other techniques. So so again, it doesn't matter what you have, who you are. The only time that you be a little careful with the Resumex is if you have seizures. You don't want to use it above your waist when you have a seizure, or if you're not being treated, or you have an issue, a major issue originally with seizures. Yeah. That, I mean, I'm talking about somebody that's just diagnosed, or somebody that isn't evaluated and under treatment, and finding out what the cause of it is, because with the Resumex, you could definitely change that.
Yeah, the Resumex is I don't know. I love my Resumex. I keep saying that. I know I keep repeating myself, but it's a pretty powerful piece of technology. The only thing I recommend is if you are scrubbing and scraping at night, I always use it on the low setting. I made the mistake one night of scraping my body, and I had the Resumex on high. Then it was like wired all night long. It was kind of like awake and ready to go. So at night, if you're going to scrape your body, I recommend doing it on low, or if you're going to sit on it or put it behind you, keep it on low so it doesn't stimulate you so much that you end up staying awake for the
But you do your face, you could do your TMJ, you do your jaw, you do all your neck and head muscles to relax your head and neck muscles. Again, it's all about what it is for you, and using it. Sherrick always says, use it intuitively. Put it where you think you want it, or where you think it should be.
And the other thing Sherrick always says is, when you are using your Resumex, think about gratitude. What are you grateful for? You know, it could be you're grateful for the beautiful day. You're grateful for your family. I mean, whatever it is to you, make sure you acknowledge the gratitude. And I think whether you have a Resumex or don't have a Resumex, I think everybody needs to find at least 3 things in a day that you're grateful for. It could be the spring flowers. It could be the person let you in at a stoplight. It could be anything, but showing gratitude also helps lift your vibration.
Well, when Sherrick's working on people and he has them think of what they're grateful for, they change dramatically very quickly. And even when you're working on the emotions, the Resumex, there is also a procedure to work on emotions and get rid of emotions with it. And that's on YouTube also. And when you think of gratitude, when you're doing that, people heal much faster, and they feel better right away after they do that session. Yeah.
All
So
right.
there you go.
Our time is winding down. I just want to mention again, we do have a special at the office, $100 off the brain tap. You can call our office at 888-777-4232. It's a limited supply, so it's first come, first serve. The Resumex, you can learn more about the Resumex. Go to maryjanemack.com. We have information on our websites. And what are your words for your people, Mary Jane?
My words for you is stop waiting and thinking about what you're doing for your health, and step up and do it. Time goes by, and if you stay the same, you're not going to get where you want to be. And I work with people all the time now, trying to help them find their path, what their job is, where they want to live. And it's so exciting to see people open up more and look for the good and what they really want to attract into their life. And that's what I help you do. So don't wait, take action, and be the best you can be.
I'd like to thank everybody for listening to the Mary Jane Mack Show on Transformation Talk Radio. We will be with you next month, the third Thursday of every month. I hope everybody has a fantastic day. stay healthy and enjoy and be grateful. And we thank you all for listening. Have a great day.
It will never end. You get so mad at me